All right, welcome everybody in. Another day, another week of college football. The games are absolutely extraordinary this week. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to go through the top 12 as if the playoffs were right now, with that caveat. But first, wanted to start the show. Whatever Mark Sanchez is going through, whatever happened, we're not getting involved in that. We're not going to speculate. Wish the best for all involved. Not going to pile on. That's not what we are about here. With that said, the photos earlier that were released about Mark Sanchez and some of the things, it wasn't the first time. I wish I could say that this was the first time that this has happened. It's not the first time that this has happened. If you're not looking, if you're in audio, it's articles that have used my picture talking about what happened with Mark Sanchez. And I've gotten that many a times. And when I first started radio, I was at the Super Bowl. So this was like literally, this was 20 years ago, like 18 years ago, something like that. And never forget, I'm on Radio Row for the Super Bowl, and you're just walking through, and obviously all the celebrities are walking through. And I walk through the lobby, and I'm walking through everybody's at, and I see Floyd Money Mayweather. And when I say his bodyguards were the biggest human beings I've ever seen, they put left tackles to shame. Like 7 feet, 380, 400 pounds. I mean, just enormous. Like, it was pretty obvious. And then I meet my eyes, after I am blown away by these Hall of Fame tackles that you see, my eyes meet Floyd Money Mayweather. And I walk up to Floyd Money Mayweather, and I'm starting to walk towards him. And I can tell he's walking towards me with a smile, and it's like, ready to dap me up. And I walk over, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting, but I think he's coming in. Like, he's coming in for the bro hug. So I come in, dad him up, and he was like, hey man, hey, don't worry about the haters, man. You're doing a great job. And I was like, you too, man. Like, you're doing awesome. Like, you're killing it, man. Like, keep knocking people out, keep doing you. He was like, yeah. He was like, man, just the critics are the critics. Never worry about that. Like, you're doing a great job. And I'm like, ain't nobody listening to me. I'm on 790 The Zone. I'm on a radio show in Atlanta. Like, nobody's listening. I'm not really tracking all that's going on. And then it hits me. He goes, all right, man, I'll see you later. Dats me up, and he was like, all right, Sanchez, be good. And I was like, oh, now I realized what happened there. Literally, Floyd Money Mayweather thought I was Sanchez, and it wasn't the first time I've gotten it out in public. That and Tony Gonzalez I've gotten at least 40, 50 times. Teddy Bruschi, I get those all the time. I guess it's the skin complexion, it's the hair. I don't know what it is, but not the first time. I figured everybody would enjoy that. All right, get to the top 12. We're going to do this every week so you can see it, because I think it's kind of cool because the committee's going to do this, right? Like, they're gonna meet week after week after week coming up in about a month, and they're going to start putting their teams in order. And then as the season goes along, they'll continue to correct. FSU fans are like, yeah, I know, because we got hosed a couple years ago late in the season, and all of a sudden you get this whip. Oh, what happened? We just slipped that one away. So, number one team, we're going to spend some time on this. So, Miami fans, Ohio State fans, we see you in the chat. We love you, by the way. Y'all are active as can be. We are here for it. We love it. So, we're going to spend some time tonight debating who number one is and the reasons why. So, right now in ours here at C-Ball Get Ball, we got Miami numero uno. We got Ohio State numero dos. Number 3 is Oregon. The Ducks obviously has put everything together. The big cross-the-country win at Penn State doesn't necessarily look as good as it did a week ago, but I think we trust Dante Moore and what we've seen with this team. Ole Miss, nothing to see here, nothing to talk about. I think it's, if you're a team and you got a bye week, always be happy. Like, be happy this year in college football, because bye weeks are glorious. Like, you might raise 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8 spots with a bye week. It's a beautiful thing to have. Oklahoma, we got you at 5, baby. John Mateer was gone. The offense was less than elite by any stretch of the imagination if you watched it, and they've still got some struggles, but you say that and you win by over 50-0. And it's interesting. Brent Venables said back in March, like, I'm going to start calling the defense. And they're like, why? And he was like, because that's what I'm good at. Well, he wasn't wrong. I mean, Venables and that defense is suffocating. Like, it's just unbelievable to watch them. Almost number one in every single statistical category in the SEC. We talked about that D-line before the season started, and we were all about that. And it's absolutely come to fruition. A&M at 6, continuing to put the complete games together, handling adversity, doing well. Got no problem with A&M being at 6 and room to grow. Their schedule coming up, we'll have some difficult games, obviously, but it's interesting to watch the schedules from here on out and how much you used to think it was like murderer's row, and now, with teams like Texas that you won't see in the top 12 anymore. Or you won't see in the top 24, top 25. So Indiana is the only Big Ten team with a top 25 win. That's it. The only one. That's the only one with a top 25 win. And obviously they boat raced Illinois. The next team, the second team in Texas to be ranked in the top 10, not Texas. Texas A&M at 6, and then you had Texas Tech at 8. Only team in the nation not to trail. So they've been dominant, man. Say what you want to say about them. Say what you want to say about the schedule. Taking frying pans, clubbing people to the face. I'm here for it. Defensive lines, we've talked about the numbers on those guys and how they continue to put pressure. It's really impressive. Alabama at 9. Pretty good bounce back, huh? Wouldn't you say? I think they have proven themselves pretty well. That's not bad. The Crimson Tide and Ty Simpson, if you can find a guy that's playing better in the country at the quarterback spot, I'm not impressed with Ty I'm not overly impressed with what they did to Kentucky. Nobody thinks Kentucky's great. But the interesting debate with Georgia LSU at 10 or 11, and this is why it's really fun when you're in the chat, like in a room, and you're doing this as a debate. Do you value Georgia's, top 15 win at Tennessee more than LSU's, loss? And LSU, obviously, they're a good team. Can you name their great win? It was a great loss to Ole Miss. The Florida loss looks a little bit better, but we've seen defense, we haven't seen consistency. I lean Georgia's better win than LSU's loss, and I lean the consistency from what I've seen from Georgia. And then Memphis, obviously, gets in the 12 spot. I think it's interesting to do the first one out, Missouri, remaining schedule. They're one of the – how about this, first of all, for Missouri? Because everybody had this. All of us smart prognosticators had this. So right now you have Missouri as an undefeated in the SEC, A&M, Ole Miss, and OU. That's it. At this point in the season, those are the only undefeated teams. Now, Missouri obviously hasn't played a great schedule. Took care of business, took care of Kansas. Big week with Alabama coming up. I think we'll find out exactly what we need to know about Missouri. So, those are our rankings. Those are fun to do every week, and I think the reason you keep doing them is because of that reason, Brent. You just keep talking about it. You keep nudging some teams up, some teams down. Depending on losses, depending on wins, depending on what those teams continue to do outside of it. You got any grief? Got any gripe?
No, I think it's actually, maybe the order's a little bit different, but the top 11 are kind of carbon copy of the AP top 11 right now. And then you obviously got to put in a group of 5 team, which this is kind of a weekend for the G5 that people aren't maybe not really aware of, but there's a playoff game this week. You've got South Florida going to North Texas. That's going to be a game that is going to matter a lot in terms of who ends up the standings in that conference, and because of who plays each other, Memphis, all those sort of things. So that's a big game this weekend to determine that, because South Florida, their win at Florida now, even they did something that Texas couldn't do, even though Sark was talking about, I heard him or saw that he was talking about, everybody go play at Texas or at Ohio State and at Florida and see how everybody else does. Well, South Florida, did, and they went and beat Florida at Florida. Yep. So but other than that, no big sort of gripes. The 1 versus 2 conversation is one that I think we're about to get into.
Yeah,
Texas,
we're about to get into
that's a conversation, because his comments today with that to me is
let's
just
get
beyond
right into
ridiculous.
let's get right into that, because what we're going to see from the national media, it is what it is, but like it'll be a pile fest on Arch. Like it'll be a big doggy pile, and everybody's going to crap all over Arch. He's not playing great, and he hasn't. He hasn't played great. But let's not like let the most important part to me off the hook. Like the most important part is, I think Sark. Like that's a big deal. Like that's a big person that deserves some of the blame. Like when we talk about Sark and we talk about his record, like first of all, we talked about with everybody in NIL. NIL helped the state of Texas as much as anyone. Like that is a big time deal for them. Like they've got so much money, and it makes it so easy to continue to be successful when you have that much money. But at the same time, now when you look at Texas and you look at their roster and you look at the ability they have to spend, and they've had a couple of good seasons. But like I think when this starts to happen, now you look back a little bit and you go, okay, Sark's 2-8 versus top 10 teams at Texas. 2-8. So again, we're going to talk about Arch. He's not playing well. Whose job is it for him to play well? It's the coach's job. It's the offensive play caller's job, who is Steve Sarkisian. 2-8 versus top 10, or 2-8 versus top 10 teams at Texas. 5-18 versus top 10 teams all time. 9-15 in one score games. 9-15. Like that's not good. That is. And I would argue that he's playing with more talent than the teams he's playing against or equal to a lot of the times. Last season, they played one SEC team that finished ranked. And they played them twice. It was Georgia.
And they took 2 L's.
They got 2 L's. So it's not been good at the top. And if you look at Sark, like you can blame Arch if you want to, and then that will happen. But I just think that we also have to say, look at those numbers and go, Steve Sarkisian hasn't done a great job. And I guarantee he would say that. Like, because Pete Kwiatkowski in that defense has been pretty dang solid. Like, really solid. They've been really, really good. And it's just, you deserve some negativity. You deserve to say, like, it's not just on. Because Quinn Ewers wasn't so fantastic either. And he was an all-world guy. Like, we have to see something change at Texas, because right now they've got all the resources. They went in the portal. They did not go for a lot of offensive linemen. Their offensive line is not very good, if you watched a week ago. So
yeah, and we're kind of talking about it because last week you had them, I think, as maybe first team out, and then they lost at Florida, and now they're very out, at least at the current time. But interesting number. It's different situations, different time, all that. But Sark is 41-19 at Texas. Coach Donnan was 40-19 at Georgia. I know a lot of Georgia fans when he got relieved of his duties at Georgia. Basically the same record. So, and the part you mentioned that I think is the most relevant piece to what he's obviously not going to do it this year, but something he might have to do moving forward is take the Ryan Day approach. Relieve the offensive play calling duties. Let somebody else go do that. Be the head coach. Be the CEO type. Because
that's why Arch is there.
A lot of success for Ryan Day.
That's why Arch is there. Arch is there because of the developmental piece. The Mannings aren't stupid, bro. Like, they've seen him have success in the NFL. They've seen him have success in college. But right now, there's not a lot of success going on. So Texas they have a GM. They have people making the decisions. They have a lot of money. They're flux with cash. The chat, by the way, you guys are fantastic. I mean, you guys continue to bring it. We love it. Continue to rate, subscribe, all that stuff, guys, because we continue to grow and we appreciate all that. But there's a lot of trash talk in the chat, and immediately, and this is what we're going to get to next, I think, which is, I think this topic is going to be very interesting because the chat's going nuts, and there's a reason. Like, Miami. Is it Miami? Is it Ohio State? Like, who is number one? Who should be number one? And again, that's the question now. It's not. Yeah, we've heard it all weekend about who's the best team. We can debate who the best team is. It's not about that. Who should be the number one team in the country? And who should be the number one team in the country is Miami. And it's not close. Like, Ohio State fans, I'm going to give you some stuff that's awesome. I'm going to tell you about some stuff that is really good about your team, and the reason why I'd be really jacked up and really excited. But the number one team in the country is Miami. And Their schedule has been way harder. The top 4 teams Miami's played is Notre Dame, South Florida, Florida, FSU. Ohio State, they played Texas, they played Washington, they played Minnesota, and they played Ohio. That's their 4 best teams. Yeah, the Ohio Bobcats. Like that's the 4th best team that they've had. And so the lines of scrimmage for Miami has been awesome. It's been really fun to watch the physicality in a world where we've gone more spread and you've gone more spread it out, like and less emphasis on the trenches. It's fun to watch a group that just wants to hit you upside the head with a hose. Like they literally are just going to like whip you with a hose over and over again and just beat you until your will breaks. And it's fun to watch an old school team that's built like that. They dominate the trenches on both sides. Elite playmaker in Tony now, like just elite. Elite dude on the outside. Experienced QB with Carson Beck. So Ohio State fans, I love you. I think you're fantastic. You guys are the reigning champs. You guys have the belt. You guys have the most important thing. You guys got some great players. And who's been more dominant is a different question. Like, who's been a more dominant team against their competition? Ohio State has a gripe. Like, Ohio State's been really, really good. The defense is absolutely disgusting. Like, 5 points a game. They've given up 7, 0, 9, 6, and 3 in their football games. And no, I'm not talking about a freaking video game. That's real life. Like, that's how dominant their defense is. And they're retooling so much up front. And their D is that flipping good. Like, this D is dirty. It's the best defense in the country. Like, I got no problem saying that 100%. Julian saying, like, we were focused week 1. We were focused really hard on Arch Manning, a 5-star quarterback. And everybody was less focused about the other 5-star quarterback. Like, Julian saying, who last week threw the ball 27 times and 4 times it didn't even hit the ground. Like, spin and bean with a great system, a great offense, running the football. And here's the last, like, really, really big thing if I'm an Ohio State fan. You heard a bunch of humpies like me talk about dynasties are dead. Not going to happen. You're not going to win 2 or 3 championships in a row. Like, you've heard that on this show. Ohio State would like a word. Like, Ohio State should like a word and should say, really? Because look at what we got going on. Ohio State, they reloaded, man. And they didn't reload with like bottle rockets. I mean, they came out with double Uzis, man. Like, and just playing great. Reloaded both coordinators on each side of the football. Like, are you kidding me? And if you watch Sundays and you watch Ohio State wide receivers in the NFL, that's all you really need to see. It's just consistent, man, every year. Like, they've just got elite playmakers on the outside, and it makes it really easy to coach that. It makes it really easy to play quarterback there. So if we want to go to if you ask me to bet my paycheck that I don't have anymore, but the biggest paycheck that I've ever made, and you're asking me who to put it on to win a national championship, I'll put it on Ohio State. Like, I'll put it on them to win. But if you're asking me who the number 1 team in the country is, it's Miami. Like, what they've done so far, they deserve to be number 1 because it is about what you've done on the field. It is about how you've looked. Like, those are all things. Yes, you can project and you can talk about, like, eye test for sure, but they should all go into it. And I'm not knocking Miami for an eye test. You can look at the final score of Florida State if you want to. They beat the crap out of Florida State. Like, yeah, Florida State got back in the game. They beat the crap out of them. Like, and so yes, there is a debate. Ohio State fans, Miami fans, y'all keep losing your minds in the chats because it's freaking fantastic. But Brent, where am I wrong? I mean,
resume. I think they're the best resume. I would agree with that.
Who?
And
Miami,
yes,
yeah.
Especially because the Florida win and the South Florida win, Notre Dame, like what Notre Dame's doing, and they're going to continue to do. I think that's going to look even better. If South Florida keeps winning, that's going to look even better. Like, so I think resume wise, they're going to be there, and then it'll just be. And a lot of this is tomato, like whatever at this point in the season. But a couple of things. One, just for Miami fans, I wonder if they want it. Do they want to be number 1, or they're like, hey, just don't, Ohio State, you can take number 1 right now. Like, I'm curious about that.
No. Do you read our chat? They might be the most vocal fans in our chat, and they want to be number 1.
Well, I've also seen a lot of them that are just like, hey, hold on, let's just pump the brakes.
Like, nothing to see here. Like, don't look over here, nothing to see. Yeah. But here's the thing. Miami hasn't done this. They've run out to good starts, but they face plant. Like, this is new ground for Miami, and this is awesome. Like, you should be jacked up and excited because this is Cristobal's handiwork of getting better players, recruiting, building the physicality, building the toughness, and finally putting it together, man. Like, I think you want that number one ranking. I would go get it, man.
Well, and the used to this part, I can speak to that. When Canesport.com, which is now part of On3, used to be part of Rivals, I would actually write for them and do a sort of PFF breakdown of Miami. I'd rewatch their games, break down the games, do a thing. And I'm talking about Zion Nelson, starting at left tackle as a true freshman, and how he's getting a little bit better here and there, or how they missed 20 tackles in a row for the third straight game, or, hey, maybe you got a little something with these guys. Like, I was writing in the struggles, so I know all about the struggles with them, and the fact that they're in this conversation, this position, it's just phenomenal. All right, so I have two things. One, you talked to, and it hit me the other day. You talked about Fletcher's running style, and I wanted to see what you thought of this comp. Is he Diet Derrick Henry?
Diet.
Very
skinny Derrick Henry,
like small, just a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller, but the upright, that sort of style. But I thought that was funny. But anyway,
that's a good one.
You said about betting the paycheck to Ohio State.
Oh yeah.
If I gave you Ohio State and Miami versus the field right now to win the whole thing, who you taking?
Ohio State and Miami. 100%. Wouldn't even think twice. I mean, those two teams have trump cards that other teams don't have. Like, most of the teams in the country, like LSU, what we know is dominant on defense, right? Offense is up and down, hit or miss. Ole Miss, same thing. Great offense, defense has been hit or miss sometimes. I've got to go through a gauntlet. This isn't one game anymore. So I got to go through a gauntlet and win 3 or 4 games in a row. Like, that means I have to have both sides of the football. They're the most complete teams in the country. Oregon's a close third, but those two teams.
I think if you put Oregon there, you definitively take those 3.
Yes, but those two I would take. I would want over Oregon.
Very much so. That was my thoughts on that. Oh, and one thing I was looking at, interesting sort of numbers wise, before we get to that here in a little bit. So Reuben Bain and Mesidor,
oh my God,
have 57 total quarterback pressures. That's more than 3 teams have in the Power 4. 3 Power 4 teams combined. Like, if you just did Mesidor, Bain, and then added the 2 Texas Tech edge rushers, Bailey and Height, those 4 players have more than 62 teams in the Power 4.
It's
those
impressive.
Guys are dominating.
So to recap, the number one ranking is earned each week, and it's earned on what you have done up until this point, who you've beaten, and then it's also a little bit you put in there about, like, okay, how are you doing it? And then there's a little bit of looking into the future. I just don't know how you don't look at what Miami's done, who they've beaten, and where they're at, and not say they're the number one team in the country based on what they have earned, not been given, based on what they have earned.
Yeah, I would concur with that as well. Should we spin it forward now?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get some
we got
numbers.
A lot of games this week that are
every week, bro.
It feels very kind of separation Saturday, contender, pretender, however you want to term it. But first and foremost, top 10 matchup, the Fighting Kurt Cignetti's Indiana Hoosiers go to Oregon and Dan Lanning. We did a breakdown of Oregon, so if you're hanging out on our channel, we did a very deep dive into Oregon and looked at a lot of different details there, so we're not going to hit them. The thing with Indiana is they have a defensive line that against Illinois completely wrecked the game and are playing that way. And I was like, okay, where are these guys? Where do they get these guys? So I went and looked. So Mario Landino was actually the only one that they recruited. This is kind of a second-year leap, defensive interior guy, 85.5 overall PFF grade, which, speaking of the numbers, brought to you by Pro Football Focus.
There you go.
Get Ball 25 code, 25% off. You can get all the stuff that I'm looking at and showing. You can
go nerd out. If you want more ammunition for the chat, you can go to PFF, find it all, and then you can slap people on here like Canes, Cats, Heat 305 does every single week.
All sorts of other things. But so outside of him, Tyreek Tucker, JMU transfer that came last year. He was solid, played like around 300 snaps.
Let's just go last names.
Let's
just go last names and go through these.
Kamara 6, you knew about.
Yes.
Like he's a stud. JMU transfer. Wheeler, 0. Western Kentucky transfer, playing lights out. Stephen Daly, Kent State transfer. Wyatt playing on the edge, Kent State transfer. And then Ratcliffe that kind of plays as a rotational piece, Texas State. Yep. So they're finding these guys in different places. And now they get to go play against Oregon and that offense and all the freshmen and speed that Oregon has.
And here's the thing. Here's where they find them. Signetti is very clear about how he does this. He goes to smaller schools that have a lot of guys that have played for 3 and 4 years, that have experience, that are a little bit older, that they can come in, that they've already played. They're not taking the young lumps with them. Like they want finished products for their school. That's the way they keep up with a team like Oregon, who's got some youth who will make some mistakes. So those are obviously really good numbers. And let me tell you something. At Autzen is a big stadium. At Autzen Stadium is a big deal because that is one of the coolest when you go in the South, obviously it's a different game. Like the environments are different in the South. Everybody's insane and nuts.
I can attest to that as someone from West Virginia. It was
it's nuts. Let me tell you something. Oregon takes a back seat to no one. Now, it's not as big, but those people are absolutely crazy, nuts, tailgating, unbelievable stadium. It helps Oregon's defensive line in that atmosphere, not as much Indiana's for when they are home against Illinois. That was a big-time help for them.
Yep.
But let's get to the next game. Let's go to Alabama, Missouri, because this game is going to be fantastic.
Joe Tess and Jesse are on the call for this game, so it's going to be exciting. Like with Joe Tess there, it's an instantaneous excitement or exciting game. 6th straight unbeaten opponent for Bama.
That's
all
weird.
6 of their opponents.
That's just crazy.
Obviously, FSU was unbeaten when they played them. They hadn't played. But outside of that, everybody's been unbeaten. Purdue has cooled off a little bit. 93.3 passing grade his first couple games, 62.5 recently. But the biggest thing in this game is Ahmad Hardy just absolutely licking his chops and be like, okay, I'm going to go get 2 hundo against Bama because Georgia went 231 and 7.5 a carry. Vandy went 146, 8.5 a carry. Now, a lot of that was Pavia. They actually only had 6 carries by running backs. Vanderbilt. They kind of went throw heavy.
How do you average 8 yards a carry and not run the ball more? That's a side note that fix that crap. That's very ungood. That is not smart play calling by Vanderbilt.
And then Bama is 60th in the Power 4 in explosive run play percentage allowed. So can Ahmad Hardy basically put himself in a Heisman? I mean, he already is with his numbers.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to put himself on the map this week. He's got a chance to put himself in that conversation, Brent, because not everybody's nerds like us that are watching every single Missouri game. Because in fairness, Missouri hasn't played a tough schedule by any stretch of the imagination. Right. But this is a chance. Hardy is built different, man. When you watch him this weekend, you're going to be like, who is that dude that's got these tree trunks and that big old booty? That dude is built like a new school running back. Short, squatty, quick, runs through people. It is unbelievable. It's just fun to watch him run. He runs angry. He runs with a purpose. He makes people miss. He runs through your face. He runs around you. Bama's going to have their absolute hands full with him.
Very much so. I think they're Ohio State's number 1 in the AP. So yeah, the current number 1 team in the poll, Ohio State, goes to Illinois, and Altmaier, and we talked about the sort of professional wins, some of those that Illinois has had this year. Last week against Purdue, got another professional win, went and took care of business. He had 390 yards on 19 completions, almost 18 a completion, just big plays galore. And he's actually, to me, balling out way more so than a lot of other quarterbacks that are talked about at a different level. But the interesting thing for me was watching Ohio State and what they're doing with Julian Sayin and kind of just gradually
taking the training wheels off.
And letting him go. He finally threw an incompletion on a 20-yard deep ball pass. It was still, I remember one of them was still an absolute dime. It was just a very tough catch for Smith that he didn't make on the sideline. But he now is 12 of 14 for 515 yards, 7 touchdowns, and a 98 PFF passing grade on 20-plus yards throws. Unreal. That's, in terms of best ever, Jaden Daniels is the best ever, and it's just a little bit more than that.
And I would love to say that that's all him. That's not all him.
No.
Whatever. Don't give me that. Please don't tell me, and not you, bro. I'm just saying, don't give me he's the greatest deep ball passer in the world. It's called Jeremiah Smith. It's Cardell Tate. It's like Smith gets so much attention. Tate's going to continue to beat people deep. Like, and he's got him beat by 5,
Did you see the double
6,
move
7.
touchdown?
He's got him beat by 10 yards. Like,
yeah.
I'm not okay. He's 12 of 14 on deep passes. I could easily be 8 of 14, and I've never played quarterback in my life. So I'm not hating on Julian saying he's a baller. I'm just saying when you got those weapons out wide, it's pretty easy to be really, really good.
This one. The luster.
I see you, Archer, in the chat. That TD was filthy. Yes, it was, sir.
Yes, it was. I agree. The route was nasty. Oklahoma, Texas was going to be a lot bigger game, but Texas kind of fumbled that a little bit. But still a massive game for Oklahoma. And Florida was. We talked about how Florida was last in the Power 4 in terms of sack percentage and pressure percentage going into that game. Mm-hmm. They pressured Arch on 62% of his dropbacks in that game. And now Texas gets to play Oklahoma, who's fourth in the Power 4.
Who lives in the world of pressure. That's all they do. Like Brent Venables wakes up and drinks coffee, and that's all he does. That's why he had a get-back coach at Clemson. This is still an enormous game. Like, this is big time. This is a big game. Now, Oklahoma, you're on your backup quarterback. I'm assuming Mateer isn't going to play. But, like, if I'm an Oklahoma fan – did I ever think that there was a world in a universe that I could beat Texas with my backup quarterback? The answer is absolutely not. Like, you think about Oklahoma and how they've been perceived since joining the SEC, they got a chance to change that narrative right now. They got a chance to say, hey, Texas, you want some? Take them. Like, eat it. Like, they got a chance to make a big-time step. Dude, recruiting, bury them with a backup quarterback. Now, listen, those numbers are terrible. Arch doesn't have anybody playing good around him. They got to coach it up better. But these games are always crazy. They're always weird. Something always happens. So I wouldn't write it off, but I still think that'll be a good game. But not as good as UGA at Auburn. If you think this is a cakewalk for UGA, you better think again.
I think I saw the spread opened at 4.5 and is down to 3.5. Like, this game is going to be – it's always that way, but it's always that way, especially at Auburn. And does Auburn – we talked about Florida having a bye week. Does Auburn have a new offensive look and a new confidence about them after a bye week? Maybe. Jackson Arnold's likely going to have some time to throw because Georgia's 63rd in the Power 4 in pressure percentage. But his last 2 games, 47 passing grade and sacked 15 times.
Like 4.7?
Yeah, like
4.7. That's
your number.
Man, so, but how big is this for Auburn? Like, how much? Auburn's not out of this thing yet. Like, they can, and I say that this is going one of 2 ways this week. Like, if Auburn makes a statement and beats Georgia, that they save their season to start. Oh, a close loss to Oklahoma, close loss to A&M. Hugh Freeze is back. Yeah, hey, they lose this one. It's like, all right, bro, this experiment went really well. But people are going to be pissed. Like, this is a huge game for Auburn and the perception of who they are. And if you think they're just going to walk in there, and Georgia's got, banged up offensive line like crazy. They haven't beat them at night since 2012. So if you think Auburn's just done, like, I would disagree strongly.
Yeah, and you think about what does Auburn have that Georgia has struggled with this season? Big receivers.
Yeah.
And really good receivers. And they have really good receivers. Like, look what Chris Brazzell did to them at Tennessee.
But Georgia has a really good run defense. That's one thing we've got to point out too. As much as we talk about the pass rush not being great, they've shut down the run. Like, unbelievable job of making everyone look very average that they've played.
Yeah, I put that on Twitter actually today. They are number 1 in the Power 4 in explosive run percentage allowed, like the fewest explosive run plays allowed. Bang, bang. But if you let Cam Coleman get one-on-ones in this game. Oof. This might not go well. And also, you talk about Auburn. After this, they get Missouri home, and then at Arkansas, Kentucky, Vandy. So this game gets well, then maybe they can get some serious momentum. The next game, I think, is like legit a playoff game. Michigan at USC. And like, this has been a thing with Underwood, and does he need to work on his touch? And he's got too much of a cannon. Yes, all those sort of things. But
yes.
If you're a receiver for Michigan, your job is to catch the ball.
Yeah.
And they are doing that worse than anyone. His drop percentage, 15.4%, would have led the nation last year, and it's number 1 right now in the Power 4. Yeah. And PFF charts catchable throws.
Yeah.
They've only caught 82% of those.
Yeah, but does it chart when it's coming 8,000 miles an hour?
So if it's right there in the frame, yes, it's catchable. It's a little different, and he's got to work on that. But still, you got to catch it.
The short throws, but they've got to catch it. They also don't run they make big plays in the running game, but they don't consistently run the football well. They got some injuries on the offensive line too that are just, legit up front. But no, they've got to do a better job of winning out wide and making plays. And the big mule Klein at tight end, he's the guy, man. Like, he's the guy that has to be a bigger part of their plan, I think. McCulley's also another guy that he came to life last game. Like, I saw that. But You're right about USC. Here's a first look, too. This is what I would have done numbers-wise on this. Like, can USC keep their quarterback upright? Because Michigan, they're going to be coming humming. And USC, if you watch the Illinois game, you're like, good Lord, they couldn't protect their dude. So that's a –
And think about last year. That was Miller Moss running for his absolute life on every play.
He's still running for his life
just
in Louisville.
He transferred to a team with maybe a worse offensive line. But – like that, and there's so many other great games this week. Florida now with feeling good, going to Texas A&M. Like all the SEC games are good. You've got, like I talked about, South Florida, North Texas, which for folks that don't know, that's an actually big game in terms of who might actually end up in the playoff from the group of 5. Like that's a big one. Arizona State goes to Utah in the Big 12, big night game, late game there. Like there's all kinds of great games every window.
How about this chat? This chat's great too. Michigan ground gonna run for 400. That's aggressive. The Italian stallion. Hartline is the guy C.J. Stroud ignored as OC, right? All right. Well, I mean maybe Hartline had his chance and it didn't look great, but obviously Chip Kelly was okay. How about Craig, our boy Craig? Signetti is going to be sitting in the coach's office in Happy Valley by the end of the year. Interesting. Reese Davis brought that up. He brought up with us, not too long ago. He talked about, like, why not hire Signetti? Like, instant credibility. You'll get half his roster like he did with JMU. Like, obviously he's won. Got.
Speaking of Penn State, though, did you see Franklin's comments about, hey, the travel and, like, excuses galore for not playing well instead of just saying, hey, we weren't ready to play. That's on me. It won't happen again.
He did say that. He did say that as well. I mean, that might be what you took out of it, but like he owned it up too. But I think that, when you have that much success and you've had that many people questioning, like here's the thing, they hear the outside noise, like they do. Like the coaches hear it as much as they don't want to. It's too easily accessible, and too many people text you. You have too many friends. That's the problem. Your friends send you a clip of somebody saying this. Your friend sends you a video, like just to try to motivate you, but at the same time, it's like, all right. I get it, man. I've heard this enough. Let's get to the eliminator, though, because we had some eliminations last week that I think were big time, and we'll just stay on pace because
one real quick thing. I had to let the audience in on a little secret that's fun. I think you need to tell the audience how your world has been enlightened by technology recently that we use for the show, because you're adulting and you need to show how much you're more adulting that you are with this technology that you're using.
I don't think it's much as going to be people are going to look at it in a positive light. They're probably going to make fun of me. But
it's not making fun of you.
I just recently with the guys, we do this thing called Google Doc, and I've never heard of it, but it's life changing. I mean, I didn't know that me, Brent, and Wes. There's Wesley. Get in there, Wesley. Like
Google Doc. It's not like a teledoc. It's plural. There's Google more Docs. Than one doc.
Okay, well, Google Docs, and it's been amazing. Like the fact that you can actually you can put notes, I can put notes, and we can all look at the notes, and I can even see your color, editing, and I don't even need. Guys, this is from last year. This is 2 notebooks from last year. Literally 2 notebooks that I filled full of crap last year. That I wrote down. I don't even have to write anything anymore. It just pops up in your computer. I'm upstairs. I'm downstairs. This is awesome.
I just put a note in the Google Doc for you, David. Check out under the eliminator.
Emoji,
I'll go first. My eliminator for the week, Texas, the Longhorns. Things are not all right. And there was a moment from the weekend that was a microcosm of the whole thing, DP. We had the quad box up, and we had Texas in the top right, and below it was on a commercial. and the commercial was Arch Manning in his Ferrari shorts throwing. No, it wasn't the glasses. The glasses would have been.
My bad.
That would have been sweet, but it was like right after one of his picks, and he's down there for his NIL deal. And I'm not knocking the kid for making his money. And really, my thing, and y'all nailed this earlier. This is not on Arch 100%. The media storm where he's just been cannibalized. The kid was set up to fail all offseason. He could have won the Heisman with one arm behind his back, and he wouldn't have met the expectations that people had for him. But this was the worst case scenario. Unfortunately, that loss at Florida was terrible. And, you're giving up a 55-yard touchdown to that freshman Dallas Wilson who hurt his foot and was coming back. Like, nothing was going right for Texas. And if they were any other team with what we were seeing from them earlier in the season, they would have been in our CFP eliminator a lot earlier.
Yeah, kind of like Alabama. They were in the eliminator.
I deliminated
like
Bama.
All right, Brent, who you got? Who'd you eliminate this week, brother?
Someone we've already talked about, Miller Moss and his Louisville Cardinals. In terms of win percentage probability versus what actually happened, they should have won that game, but you give up 2 defensive touchdowns to Virginia and you can't protect your quarterback, and your next game is at Miami. I think you're pretty well Dunsky.
Listen, the chat's
Louisville for me.
I get it, and the chat's going like, "Wait a minute, Texas isn't technically eliminated." We don't go by mathematical. We go by what we see, and we're like, they done, they gone. Like they're not bouncing back. A la
FSU,
a la Penn State, a la Penn State is mine. Technically, Penn State plays Indiana. They play Ohio State. So you're saying, hey, Penn State can get back in this. All they got to do is win a few big games, right? Like all Penn State, Brent, to be not eliminated, all they have to do is win a few big games.
Against teams that will be ranked in the top 10.
Yeah, that's all they got to do. That's why they're eliminated.
That's it.
I love you. We are. I love your team. Man, that last week was the backbreaker. It's it, man. It's over. I don't think they can win.
They've won the games they're supposed to win. And when you now lose a game you're supposed to win, now the heat gets cranked up.
Yeah.
So,
and speaking of winning, victory formation. Like now we go to who won the weekend. And these are always fun because everybody can kind of look at it however they like to see what they consider winning. I'm going with Tim Skipper. Everybody in the chat, go ahead and go nuts because you don't know who Tim Skipper is. Because Tim Skipper was the interim coach for UCLA, the 0-4 Bruins, who had no life, who averaged 14 points a game, who hadn't led at any point in the season. Not 1 minute, not 1 second had they led a single game. So when you talk about winning a weekend, my man, Tim Skipper, you won the weekend. You got the victory formation because you took your team that had no belief, no coach. You somehow dialed them in and you beat Penn State. You got a super big dub. And guess what? You are officially tied now with James Franklin because you have one top 10 win versus a Big Ten team. You did it really quick in your career, really quickly. But you won the weekend, sir.
That's an amazing number. Such an amazing number. My winner of the weekend, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here, or zoom out.
Zoom out, bro.
That would be zoom out. That would be the U. Because to me, you can now put them in the playoff in Sharpie. Whatever seed, fine, however it ends up, I think they are definitively a playoff team. And the other part was it wasn't just that for the weekend. Because not only did they win, their previous quarterback had a coming out party because the Arizona Cardinal guy decided to drop the ball before the end zone again when they were about to go up. And then Cam Ward went off. Yes, from TCU.
What are you doing? Like, did
Ward
everybody
goes off
just
in the
watch
fourth
Deshaun
quarter.
Jackson as a kid and go, that is so cool, I'm going to do this? Like, I can't – you're in the NFL. I can't believe that's even possible that you could do that. But no, Miami, like, this is what they got. They got the belt, the state championship belt again.
Yes, they did.
Like, just 2 years in a row, just being like, sit down. Hey, South Florida, good little program. Whoosh. Hey, FSU, good program. Whoosh. Hey, Florida, y'all got it going this time? Nah, sit your butt down. Miami's just straight whack-a-mole, the state of Florida. Eat it.
They owned it. Put them in the playoff, Sharpie.
Yeah, DeMarcado pulled the Chad Powers in real life. All right, John McClane.
From Die Hard?
Yeah. Hugh Glass, The Revenant. Freddy Krueger, People Who Refuse to Die. My winner of the weekend, Billy Napier, refuses to die. For better or worse, if you're a Florida fan, look, you hate this guy 6 days of the week. But tell me that beating Texas isn't sweet in the swamp. That looked like a lot of fun. Billy Napier, you live to see another day, my man. And he is my winner of the weekend. I love Billy Napier. Look, we're dogs here. We're not gonna beat around the bush, but I like that guy. I think the Stetson Bennett story. Have you heard that one, David? About how he almost went and played for Billy Napier when he was JUCO. Billy Napier called him, wanted him to transfer to Louisiana from his JUCO school, and then I think Kirby called him that day, and Stetson was like, "Sorry, coach, I got to go back to Georgia," and the rest was history. Tough loss for Billy Napier there, but that guy, his story as a coach, whatever happens at Florida, I think he's going to do great things. And this weekend, beating Texas at home, that was awesome. Big dub for Billy.
And he's not done. He's not done. Florida and Billy Napier are going to get more people this season. Like their schedule gives them plenty of opportunities because their schedule's a murder's row. But somebody else is going to taste the Gators because they've got a good team, talent, and now this freshman kid, holy cow! Like now you're going, okay, is that dude elite of elite? Is he going to go take over games? Dallas is an absolute stud too. So I agree with you.
Guys, thanks for watching. Brent, great job with the numbers tonight. Great breakdown of some big games. This is going to be a fun weekend. DP, your top 12 is terrible, just like it is every week. You can't please everybody or anybody, but hey, that's how it's going to go. We're going to be the committee before the committee starts doing their rankings here in about a month, I think. So getting excited about that. Y'all hit like and subscribe here on YouTube. If you're listening on podcast, rate and review the show. And look, y'all can't catch us live every single show, so go follow it over there too and listen wherever you're going, heading to work, at work. We won't tell your boss. Listen there too. Y'all have a great week. DP, appreciate it, man. Brent, we'll see y'all Wednesday night. Peace.
Peace.